Thursday, 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 and it's going to be a really fun weekend, I think. Sunday is the Columbus ComicCon, or GalaxyCon, as they call it. It's been called many things. Now it is GalaxyCon. God, the price to get in is dumb. It's just so weird, because I know they collect money from vendors, they collect money from the people who do autographs. Anything that's got a table in there has been collected money from, and yet the cost to get in on Sunday is $50. Plus whatever fees their little website decides to tack on, which is lovely. So, you know, I wasn't really going to go, and then the Star Trek people that were coming got more and more and more, and I'm like, Nana Visitor's going to be there, who played Major Kira. I would love to have her autograph. Jeffrey Combs is going to be there, a wonderful character actor from Reanimator, and then he played so many aliens in Star Trek, I think starting in TNG, and then keeping on going. Maybe started in DS9, I don't know, I thought maybe he started in TNG. It's hard to tell sometimes who is under all of that makeup that they apply, so I don't know. I probably should have looked that up, but... And a couple other people are going to be there. Peter Cullen is going to be there, the voice of our childhood, if you're my age. Optimus Prime, Smurfs, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. He played, oh, now I've lost it. What was... The mouse is the big burly mouse with the brown coat, and yeah, I forgot his name. I'll pop it up on the screen. But, you know, just so many voices. The voice of the Predator in the first Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a whole thing on YouTube about that you should tune in and go watch when he discusses the whole thing of how that came to be. The voice of so many things. Peter Cullen, love to get his autograph. And then just see, you know, on a Sunday, see what's going on. I'm going to dress up in my uniform, my Star Trek uniform. I'm going to see if that turns any Star Trek people's heads or not. Sometimes it does. I mean, it didn't do anything for Bill Shatner. That's a whole thing. Yeah, that's an aggravating meet the people that you admire moment. Yeah, I think I've talked about it before. I was in my full Wrath of Khan uniform. I was in line to get his autograph. The guy in front of me continued to talk to him and talk to him and talk to him. They was slid my autograph headshot of him in his outfit. He just signed it, even though at the top it said to Matt. He just signed his name to it, and then he passed it to his other handler. As he finished up the conversation with the guy that was in front of me, he started the conversation with the guy that was behind me. And I'm standing there in my Wrath of Khan outfit, getting my headshot signed, and it's like, we all have bad days, and I know people like that have bad days, but it didn't seem like he was having a bad day when he was talking to the guy in front of me and the guy behind me. He completely just ignored me, which, you know, it's hard to blame, especially with all of the excitement and stuff that was going on. But it was really disappointing to have that happen, to say the least. But anyway, we're going to do Loki and a clever, the Key Lime Chaos, Key Lime Pie Flavored Coffee, which reintroduced my love to Bones Coffee and their flavored coffees. And it just smells so nice. The Crusader Cup's up there. I used the maple bacon one yesterday, which is an amazing flavored coffee. But the Key Lime Chaos is just so nice. So I'm going to use the Clever. I should have got my papers. There we go. I'll get better at that at some point. Maybe I won't, I don't know. Like I said yesterday, I'm kind of doing this by myself, so it's like I don't have anyone to do continuity for me but me. It's all right. It's not that big a deal. More people brings more chaos. But then, you know, then you meet the good people, you know. Jonathan Frakes was hilarious and very grateful. Denise Crosby played Lieutenant Yar. Such a wonderful person, and I didn't measure anything out yet. The one that kind of bothered me for a little bit, but then kind of won me over again. Ooh, 36. That might be a little too much. Right? Yeah. Marina Sirtis. I was at one ComicCon where I was watching a panel with them, and I know they get bombarded with questions from fans all the time, and sometimes it's the same questions. Sometimes it's just inexplicable questions that just are related to the character, but these folks haven't played the character in, God, what, 20, 25 years now? So there's a lot of stuff that's lost to them. So, you know, you're asking these questions, and she was really mean and abrupt to a clearly scared to be there, but worked up the courage to talk to you individual. And she just kind of belittled him a little bit, you know, and said some things that, I mean, it's not like she cursed at him, but she was like, you know, she did the whole mic drop thing after she was done doing a little bit of a belittlement to him. And you know, there again, maybe she was having a bad day. Maybe this question that he asked had been asked so many times that she was like, God, make it stop, you know, and that kind of makes sense, but you just gotta, a lot of people don't seem to remember why they're standing up there and why they're still working, you know, and why they still get gigs and stuff like that. It's because the fans want them to be there. And, you know, even in a moment of, why am I here? You know, you probably should still recognize that, you know, that fan is the reason why you're here, you know? But then, a Louisville Con, I went up and I talked to her, and she was so kind and sweet and nice to me. You know, I just thanked her for her, you know, for her work. I mentioned some things that she was in that wasn't Star Trek related, which was probably a good thing to do. Probably a big part of it, you know, and she was very grateful and very gracious, and she talked to me for a second, and that was really nice. So, you know, it's just, but that Shatner thing will always stick out in my head as off-putting, you know. Anyway, let's get this all blitzed up. I know I've talked about it before. It's just hilarious. That's so nice. Such a wonderful coffee flavor, backed up by that lovely citrus hit. You wouldn't think that would go together, but for some reason, man, just for some reason. All right, got 33 grams out of that. I'm going to add about 400 grams this time. I've got my clear mug out so we can watch the magic happen this time. Wasn't as much fun in a ceramic mug yesterday. 200, 300, 407. Happens just that fast. We'll give it a stir and we'll let it go for about 4 minutes. Make sure everything is where it should be. Everything will settle. Get it off the sides a little bit here. I suppose you can swirl this too. That bed settled down. Whoop, 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 whoop. Not to swirl too much. I think I swirl too much sometimes. All right. Todd Stashwick is also going to be there, who is the captain of the USS Titan A in the Picard season. And then Terry, is it Matthias, who was a writer on Star Trek, the last season of Picard, season 3, is going to be there as well. It would be kind of nice to get Todd's autograph. And I think his name is Eva Evangoria is going to be there as well. He played a Romulan assassin who belonged to a group of female assassins. And of course, in Picard's timeline, Romulus is destroyed by the sun in their solar system exploded or something like that. And they were able to rescue a small handful of the Romulans off of Romulus and Remus. And that's basically their ongoing storyline. So, but he was a young orphan who was taken in by these female assassins. And I thought he played a really great role in the first season. And then he kind of petered off in the second season. And then he wasn't there at all in the third season, which is really kind of disappointing because I thought his character, people were calling him Space Legolas because he had the ears and he had like really thin swords. And I think he used a bow maybe at one point. I don't know. But he was Space Legolas to a lot of people, but I think he did a really good job. Season 1 and 2 have their faults, but I don't think that they're terrible. Season 3 is just a nostalgia run, and I was there for the whole thing and loved it. Loved every bit of it. It was so great. So all of that, this Sunday will be the ComicCon. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll get to go and see all those people. Hopefully I'll have enough to be able to get Todd Stashwick's autograph at the very least. I loved him as Captain Shaw. Spoilers, but he meets a very unfortunate end. You want it to go. You want it to keep going. You love his character so much. You want him to keep going because it just makes sense because he's just that fun of a character. I loved his arc. I loved his reasonings, and he just played the character so well. It made me really enjoy their interactions, and I do kind of wish he had more screen time. But it was a nostalgia 90s throwback to TNG where the Enterprise D and the crew, the main bridge crew at least, got one final ride. So what are you going to do? All right, so speaking of Paramount, Loki. Marvel Studios. Not even close. Disney, not Paramount. Such great flavors going on there. The coffee's always really good, but the key lime and the citrusy notes and it just shines right through. And then it's just so weird because you get this little kind of almost salty taste at the front of your mouth to like make it feel like you've had some pie crust. I don't know why you wouldn't want salt in your pie crust. I don't know. But it tastes so good. It's a very complex series of things going on. But it ends up in something that just tastes amazing, and you really, really, really enjoy it. So thanks for putting up with me today. I really appreciate it. My thoughts about Comic Cons. I love Comic Cons. I love going to Comic Cons. I've been to the one in Detroit. I've been to the one in Louisville. I think I went to the one in Nashville once. The one in Orlando that I went to was absolute chaos and claustrophobic and so spread out, but so confined at the same time. It was really weird. That's where I went to try to meet Christopher Lloyd. And the minute I got in line for him, they announced that he had to leave to do a phone interview for a radio station. And it's like, I did get Peter Weller's autograph and got to it was for Buckaroo Banzai, which I love Buckaroo Banzai. It's such a weird, wacky cocaine movie. But I got to tell him how great his Batman was because he was a great old edgy Batman coming out of retirement. So that was really good. And then of course he played an admiral in the not great. I don't want to say the worst. Some people like the movie, and that's absolutely fine. You should like the movie. You shouldn't feel bad or be made to feel bad for liking the movie. But Star Trek Into Darkness for me it's worse than 5. And I know there are a lot of people out there also that will just be contrarian. You know, oh, no, I thought it was great. Of course you do. Of course you do. But then, you know, then there are people out there that actually enjoy the film. And, you know, it was their second introduction to Star Trek after, you know, the first movie with J.J. Abrams. And you can kind of tell in the second one, they wanted an action movie. And it was just, everything was, and I could go on for hours, or at least 30 minutes with how bad Into Darkness was for me. So I won't do it. But yeah, but I got to thank him for those and tell him what a great job he did. You know, RoboCop, of course. But yeah, the Orlando one was just not great. It was just, there was just so many things that I really didn't enjoy about it. Top on the list being Christopher Lloyd leaving while we were in the middle of the line. That was a little aggravating. But yeah, no, I like going to Comic Cons. And then I've been to the Star Trek Con twice in Vegas, and both times I had a wonderful time. It is what it is. You know, your mileage, as always, may vary with everything. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. Go to a Comic Con. Go to a library, go to a comic book store, find a used toy store, and go and look at all of the toys. Have a great weekend. Bye.